There is this one bad habit that is making you poor right now. Poor not just in terms of money here, but poor in terms of your happiness, poor in terms of your fulfillment, poor in terms of your relationships. It is costing you what you truly want in your life. And this is why when you stop this one bad habit right now, when you discover this, you'll finally be able to change your life around. And this is why I want you to pay close attention. Are you ready to get started? Yes. So when it comes to financial success, it's ever so important we understand that making money is simply a game. So the approach we take in the money game determines whether or not we can win or lose. Making sense? So imagine, for example, in the world of football, imagine you're watching this sports game. The actual approach the players are taking does determine whether or not they can win or lose. True, true. So imagine if one team is playing strictly not to lose. They're only playing defensive and not even trying to score. What are their odds of winning? Slim to none, when you agree. And yet that's what most people who are struggling financially actually do. They're playing this game not to lose. And if you're playing not to lose in your life, what are you actually focused on? You're focused on losing, meaning you'll begin to see more of those lack in your life, the lack of results. True, true. If you look at financially successful people, they are playing this game to win. This is why they win. And so the question you got to ask yourself right now is, how are you playing this game? How are you showing up? Are you truly playing to win right now? Are you focused on winning, or are you focused on not losing? Because it is time for us to truly begin to focus on winning, playing this game to win. Because the moment we do this, you'll begin to see more of that financial success you truly desire. So I want you to imagine this right now. Imagine you get a phone call out of the blue and you pick it up and it's from a billionaire, okay? And this billionaire says to you, hey, I'm in a great mood right now. I want to wire $10 million into your personal bank account. In that moment, how would you feel? You'd probably feel awesome. Isn't that right? What thoughts would you have in your mind? You'd be like, oh, this is amazing. I've got abundance and all of the great thoughts like that. Isn't that true? And he says, oh, by the way, there is just one catch. And you're like, huh? What's the catch? He says, well, it's not going to hit your personal bank account until 6 months down the line. But I'm signing this contract. It's guaranteed to hit your bank account. Knowing that, are you still feeling good? You bet. You're still like, oh my God. And you have spring in your steps. Isn't that true? So let me ask you, has your personal bank account balance in that moment actually changed? No, it hasn't gone up. Not yet, at least. But you feel different. Why is that? Because your focus has changed. Because your overall quality of thoughts has changed. And because your thoughts have changed, do you think your human behavior is going to change? You bet. And this is why you'll notice, literally, when you're waiting for that paycheck 6 months down the line, you'll notice that 6 months will be the most financial success you've ever had in your life, because you're showing up in this game totally differently, with a different spirit every single day, with more enthusiasm, passion, joy, spring in your steps. That is what we mean by playing to win. And when you really adopt that mindset, you'll begin to win this game. And that's what you really want, right? And this is why I want to wrap up on this final story just for you. Pay close attention. There's a story that you'll be able to resonate with. It's a story of an elderly gentleman who had a dream. His dream was to be able to send his son to university and pay for it all in cash. And this was such a big dream for him because all his life he struggled financially. And so it was always out of reach. But since he was almost at the end of his life, he thought, I got to do whatever it takes. I'm going to really play to win, whatever it takes for my son. He decided to invest all of his life savings into a hot dog cart business. And day one business comes, and he decides for the first time ever to really show up with an abundance sort of spirit and energy, playing to win. He got everything ready and he pushes his hot dog cart stand next to a really busy place, middle of a city. And he's beaming all this positive energy, playing to win energy. And it begins to actually attract a lot of the passers-by. And they begin to buy all the hot dogs from him. And all the morning stock actually ends up selling out. And so now he's just like, oh my God, I want to play to win even more. He decides to invest more money, all the profit into afternoon stock. Afternoon comes, he shows up again with all that abundance, playing to win energy. Afternoon stock sells out as well. And then in that moment, he's like, okay, I'm going to really play to win. He decides to buy a fancy hot dog cart stand that can actually light up middle of the night. And so he invests in this fancy hot dog cart stand and he buys all the batteries, and middle of the night, he shows up, whatever it takes, and he begins to sell to people who are literally coming out of bars and so forth. And so in that moment, every single day, he plays to win, plays to win, plays to win, plays to win. And by the time he got to the 4th month of playing to win, he had the most amount of money that he's ever accumulated. And by the 6th month, he had literally been able to save enough money to be able to send his son to university. He was sat in his lounge. He couldn't believe it. He's never been able to accomplish something like this in his life before. And it was around this time, shortly after this, when things took turn for the worse. Several years had gone by at this point, and his son was still at university. One afternoon, son's reading through the newspaper, and he reads the headline. It says, "Recession's coming, recession's coming." He thinks, oh my God, I got to tell dad. He jumps in his car, drives really fast down to dad's house and starts knocking on the door. Dad answers, and dad says, what's wrong, son? He says, Dad, this is really bad. Look, read here. It says recession's coming. You got to stop showing up the way you've been showing up, Dad. Recession's coming. And as soon as he went back to university, the elderly gentleman's looking up at the ceiling in his lounge, thinking, my son is right. Recession's coming. I got to stop showing up in this way. And in that moment, a unique psychological shift happened. He went from playing to win, abundance energy, to now playing not to lose, scarcity energy. And so that morning comes, first day of business again, and he thinks, I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose. And so he decides to not basically carry out a lot of stock, and he pushes hot dog cart stand with a very anxious scarcity energy, with not even a smile on his face. He pushes this hot dog cart stand next to the busy place he normally goes to. And because he's radiating all of this not losing energy, and he hasn't even got a smile, no enthusiasm, he notices not many people actually begins to do business with him. And he's thinking, wow, it's true, recession's coming. Nobody's buying these hot dogs from me now. Afternoon comes, and he thinks, you know what, I can't show up in the afternoon. I don't want to waste all of this stock I've got left. I don't want to lose. So he decides to stay home. Nighttime comes, he decides, no, I don't want to spend money on batteries. I can't do that. And he decides to stay at home. And every single day he repeats not losing, not losing, not losing, not losing. By the time he got to the 4th month, he went bankrupt. He's now in his lounge, looking up the ceiling. He doesn't know what's really hit him. He's just thinking to himself, what happened? I can't believe this. And one day, his son comes back from university and says, I told you, Dad. I told you recession is coming. I'm glad I kept you safe. The moral of this story is very simple. Don't allow your external circumstances or external world to determine your internal world, your inner world. Don't allow your focus to change. Otherwise, your results will change. There's been points in your life where you were able to attract more and achieve more success. Isn't that true? And that was because your focus was different. You was focused on winning. If you're going to allow the current circumstances that you're experiencing in your life right now to be the thing that's actually making you focus on losing, you are going to struggle. So I invite you today, focus on winning. Play this game to win. And don't be too surprised if all of a sudden you start winning. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have, be sure to click the like button. Comment below, what's your biggest insight lesson that you've gotten from today's video? And as always, follow your heart and take action. And let's create the life you're truly born to live. Take care.